والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم
كيف how
because a lot of people think that the that when they say halal, they get the meat. That's why a lot of people tell people they can't eat the food or stuff like that.
the slaughtered meat, as I mentioned in the ayah, وَتَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ هِلٌّ لَكُمْ, that the food of the people of the book is halal for you. The ta'am here, as Ibn Abbas said, it is the dhabiha or the slaughtered meat of the Jews and the Christians. It is halal. Hillun lakum. It is halal for you. So whether it be Burger King or whether it be other than that. But on a side note anyway, you shouldn't be eating that food. From the health perspective. Barakallahu feekum. This food is packed with all types of hormones, antibiotics, drugs, steroids. It is fed upon pellets and feed that, they're locked off in barns. They never see sunlight out of their chickens. So now you're eating that, and I see in the United Kingdom there's an obesity problem and a health epidemic. In the UK. But in America, it's on a different level. Wallahi. I get scared when I see people in England. When I see people in here, I'm in shock. Because anything that you buy off the shelf, because we try to our best ability to eat as healthy as we can. So we go to Walmart or wherever. I mean, when we were in Philadelphia and New Jersey, we used to go to Wegmans or go to Whole Foods. I think you have Whole Foods here as well. And you go there, and generally speaking, they do put an effort in to putting in good food into their stores. But when you go and you buy this juice, and they say it is pure juice, and you look at the first ingredient, water, second ingredient, sugar. Or they'll say water and then high fructose glucose corn syrup, which is just basically a sugar replacement because it's cheaper than putting in cane sugar. And this is why in the United States of America you have a diabetes epidemic. Children at the age of 9, 10 and 11 with type 2 diabetes. By the age of when they enter their teens, type 1. Children taking insulin into their injections into their stomachs because they have diabetes issues. And if you have diabetes, you have obesity and you have heart issues. And then by the age of 30 and 40, you see brothers and sisters that are overweight, have health issues. Cancer begins to creep in. Kidneys begin to fail. Liver's not functioning properly. Why? Because we're not watching our diet. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said, نِعْمَتَانِ مَغْبُونٌ فِيهِمَا كَثِيرًا مِنَ النَّاسِ, that there are two blessings that many of the people that they lose. الصحة والفراغ, good health and faragh, and free time. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala said in Tibb al-Nabawi that good health is the greatest blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon the person. Imam al-Dhahabi said that it is the greatest blessing after Islam, good health. And how many people they lose it? Because we're not paying attention to what we're eating and the quantity of what we're eating and the ingredients of what we're eating. And this is why you're finding that we are living in an era now where the youth are developing cancers that your forefathers never had. All types of cancers. And then they give you the solution. So the multinationals, the big multinationals that produce all of this type of processed food, that takes you about 2 minutes just to read the ingredients on the back of it. And you know that your mother or your grandparents never made that type of food. It was simple food. 3, 4 ingredients, khalas, that's the food. And if there was anything else, it was just seasoning. Salt, pepper, bas. Now you read those ingredients, literally it will take you half a minute or a minute and a half just to finish reading the ingredients. Alright, because it's processed food, made by the multinationals. Then you get cancer, Then another group of multinationals make the drugs to temper that problem. Because they're symptomatic drugs, they just control the symptoms. They don't actually give you the cure. They don't give you the cure. They just say, what, you got high sugar? No problem, let me just give you something to balance out that sugar. So you inject yourself, balance out the sugar, and you're still on the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi and whatever else that you drink, and these iced teas and these sweet teas, and and then they convince you it's healthy because they've put some vitamin D into it or something. But it's bad. This type of food. And the thing is, people think that this has no connection to Islam. And inshallah, if when we get to New Jersey, I was thinking that maybe during the conference, that's going to be my topic, inshallah. Health and well-being in light of the Qur'an and the Sunnah. Because it's something that many of the Salafis, we don't focus upon. And we don't give it the attention that it deserves. So even though this food, we don't say it is haram, but really you shouldn't be, oh, mashallah, the brother said it's all halal now, khalas, let's go to KFC and drown in some monosodium glutamate and get some excitotoxins up in the brain. This is why when you eat some of this food, wallahi, your belly's full and you can't move. But you still want to chew on another chicken. Why? Because the coating is monosodium glutamate, it's MSG, or one of its derivatives. As soon as you bite into it, the effect is not upon your stomach, the effect is in the brain. The brain's telling you a lot more of it. Your belly's full and you can't move, and it's just in front of you. And you still want to have more. Because these people didn't make millions and billions of dollars. Except they know what will get the taste buds going. So when the taste comes on the tongue, the message is from the brain. Excitotoxins. You find, and then people say, well, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give up sugar, that's my first step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take not natural sweetness, fake sweetness, sucralose, aspartame, as you call it here, or aspartame. And they introduce them. And when you put this into your diet, then you know that there's methanol in there. And there's other things in there that actually affect the brain and affect the rest of the body. But really the solution is what? Give up the desire for sweetness. Give up the desire for that white food, white flour, white rice, white pasta. Even whole wheat, actually, to be honest with you, is not good for you. Give up wheat. Minimize it in your diet. As a general nasiha, durum wheat in pastas, give it up. Eat whole foods, wholesome foods. Get a jacket potato, it's better than wheat. Put it in the oven. Don't drizzle it with oil. And if you are going to use oil, use organic coconut oil. Because it doesn't become corrupted at high temperatures. Because when you heat all other types of oil, including olive oil, it reaches the level where it's only a few molecules away from PVC. From polythene in essence, or nylon. It's only a few molecules away because you heat it and you destroy what's happening inside. You change the molecular structure of oils as you heat them up. But coconut oil actually is good at high temperatures. Organic coconut oils. And when you heat it, actually you don't taste the coconut in there, because then you think, how am I going to eat something with coconut in there? Give up your fries. If you can't give up fries, get one of these new type fryers. What's it called? The Acti fryer. Tefal? You heard of it? It's a Dutch company, so I don't know if America does it. You got it, Tefal Acti fryer. What's the other one called? There's another company that. Anyway, Tefal make it. It takes a teaspoon. You just put in a teaspoon or half a tablespoon or even a tablespoon of coconut oil, organic coconut oil, into some sweet potatoes or into carrots that you slice, or even potatoes, and they come out like fries. With a tablespoon of oil, if you're a fries fiend. Fries is your thing, I can't give it up. You can't drive past a McDonald's except that your mouth is salivating for the fries. Right, then you need to get an active fryer. It will take 1.5 kilos of potatoes sliced into fries. Don't buy the frozen stuff, because that's already coated in vegetable oils and canola oils and this oil and that oil. Get your potatoes, organic if you can, Because if you're into fries, slice them into fries, put them into the active fryer, prepare your meals, and feed your children healthy, feed yourselves healthy. When you look at your plate, when you have your plate in front of you, the dish, 50% of it should be green and colours. Raw, lettuce, cucumber, beetroot, rocket, carrots. Anything else? All those things that you hate. What else? Kale, peas, corn, avocado, tomato or tomato, not tomato. And the rest of the plate should be what? Put a grilled fish on there. Use butter, don't use oil. Don't use oils. Use butter. If you need to fry an egg, fry it in butter. Just a little, half a teaspoon of butter or a teaspoon of butter, and fry your egg in butter, not in oil. All oils are bad. All margarines. Why do you think margarines are so cheap? Because they're so good? They're cheap because they're processed, simple. They're the dregs of what is thrown out by everybody else, and they turn it into an oil. They solidify it and they put it on the counter. Butter, organic, 100% butter, salted or unsalted, doesn't matter. You want to fry something? You want to baste some broccoli? 30 seconds into some butter, or even steam it lightly and put a turn of butter in there, a teaspoon of butter in there. So the rest of the dish, a grilled fish or a grilled portion of chicken. You get yourselves onto that type of diet. And which drink next to it? Water. Get used to water. First couple of weeks, you're going to have cold turkey. You have cold turkey here? Do you use the term? Yeah. You're going to be yearning. And every time you pass by those fast food drive-thrus, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for the first couple of, but wallah, you get over that initial stage, and after a year, when you taste that food, wallahi, you're not going to enjoy it. Every so often I cheat. I'm not going to lie to you. Every so often. But after I've cheated, wallahi, myself and the wife, we say to ourselves, why did we do that? Because it didn't even taste nice. It didn't taste nice. You feel the oil still lingering to your insides, to your throat. Why? Because you're no longer used to that type of food. Cook in the house. Get your wives into the habit of cooking in the house. Not she rings you up on your way home, can you pick up a Burger King? No, I will not pick up a Burger King. No. Get in the kitchen. I bring the food home, you cook it. If you want me to help you cook, I'll help you cook. I'm a good cook. So I tell myself. Alright? There's no harm in brothers learning how to cook. You learn how to cook, all my children, I teach them how to cook. Or the wife teaches them how to cook. Because they need to get into the habit, because cooking is not difficult. If you cook simple food, it's not hard. How hard is a jacket potato? How hard is it to make a nice salad with nice dressing, balsamic vinegar? Throw some feta cheese in there. It's not hard. How hard is it to grill a fish? When you buy cheese, don't buy proper cheese, organic cheese. Not the cheese that is taken from cows that are injected with steroids and with antibiotics, because that will go through. If you can get raw, unpasteurized milk, can you get it? Is it illegal here or can you get it? It's allowed, huh?
It's illegal.
Illegal in Florida. In some states it's available, right?
You can purchase it, but they tell you it's not for human consumption. You can give it to your cat.
No, be careful, because the only organic milk, unpasteurized, that you should be drinking is from a certified organic farm that is monitored by the authorities. Don't go to any old cow, to a farm and say, Farmer Giles, you got a cow, can I take the milk from it? No. Yeah, I've heard in California and those places, there's court cases going on But if you can get it, you can get it. In England, alhamdulillah, they still allow. In Europe, you go to a hotel in Europe, and they have dispensers in the hotel where you get raw, organic, unpasteurized milk from the breakfast bars in hotels. Alright? In England, you don't have that because it's illegal to sell it in the supermarkets, but you can go to any farm and collect it, and you can give it on to anybody else. That's not illegal. But the point here I'm making is that you move away from a sugar-based, starch-based diet to a high salad and protein salad-based diet. Meaning that you use lentils, you use seeds, Wallah, it's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard for all of us when we began. You know, we've been up on it for a few years now. It's difficult to begin with. But then I learned a method, it's called crowding out. You buy so much of that stuff, and you stop buying everything else, and then you feel guilty not eating it, so then you have to eat the veg. Because no one likes to waste money. We're Muslims, we don't like to be spendthrift and then waste things. So what you do is, it's called, and actually I learned it from, some of those non-Muslims who have actually fine-tuned this. In America actually is where a lot of this started. Europe have been upon it for centuries, to be honest with you. The farmers in Europe, they have always held on to the land. In England, in Europe generally. But this new wave of health stems from the US. And this is where I learned it. They called it crowding out. What you do is that you start buying this stuff from organic shops or organic farms. You bring it into the house and you stop buying no Coca-Cola, no fizzy drinks. None of this fizzy pop, none of these sugar drinks, not even the pure juices. Stop them. So you crowd all of that out, and now this is, when you wake up in the morning, this is it. So now what you're going to do? You have to do something. You have no choice. So the wife comes down, she has to do something. She has no choice. Because now she has to cook. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She has to cook, and you have to be a party to that. If you get into that habit, my brothers and sisters, wallahi, you'll notice the improvement in your health within weeks. Even in your mental health. You have brain fog. You fall asleep at work after lunch. Hard to keep your eyes open, so you have to go and buy a donut and a coffee. Right? And then you feel sick afterwards. Then you go home and you feel like slouching on the couch. This is the reason why. So alongside our ibadah, and it will make your ibadah sharper. You'll have nashat in your ibadah and your learning and your studying also. So there's much that can be said about the topic, but inshallah I think we should conclude now. Inshallah. There are a lot more questions, but I think we should finish on a high, and that I think is it a high? Like good health, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. Jazakumullahu khair.
قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم.